Welcome to Elkhorn, Wisconsin, a small town oasis.
Hello and welcome to Discover Wisconsin.
This is an anthem for those who look for more and never say they've seen it all. Windows down, let's take a ride. The good land's great tonight.
Living in harmony, that's the motto here in Elkhorn, Wisconsin. And in this thriving community, that message holds true, where its rich history, hometown values, and natural beauty blend together to create one postcard-perfect destination. Less than 2 hours away from Madison, Milwaukee, and Chicago, Elkhorn is perfectly situated for a much-needed escape from big city life. I absolutely fell in love with Elkhorn. It has such a small town charm to it, and the people here are so friendly. Elkhorn is the Walworth County seat, so it is a real hub for recreation, businesses, and activities all year round. But like any bustling community, it all had to start somewhere. Legacy, history, and tradition are the pillars of culture here in Elkhorn, and there is no better place to explore that very heritage than at the Webster House Museum. This little house in downtown Alcorn has seen hundreds of years of history. It served as a federal land grant office, a stop on the Underground Railroad during the Civil War, and much more. Today, the Webster House is home to thousands of Civil War and Victorian-era artifacts, as well as Alcorn's namesake. Frank, Elkhorn has such a fun backstory. Can you tell us a little bit about the origins and how it's got its name?
Elkhorn was founded in 1836. Samuel Phoenix came through the area and he sat down under a tree out by the present high school and looked up in the branches, and these set of horns were hanging up there. So he looked around and he said, well, I think I'll call this Elkhorn Prairie.
The museum is also the former home of Joseph Philbrick Webster, a composer known for writing the famous hymn, The Sweet By and By, and the song Lorena from the movie Gone with the Wind.
And it was very popular with the soldiers during the Civil War. And it became so popular that the soldiers would listen to that song and they'd get homesick. And then they'd go home.
The Webster House has surprises around every corner, but one collection in particular is sure to make you stop in your tracks. Jim, when people come in, do they ask, what's with all the birds?
Well, this collection was donated to us about, over 20 years ago. Howard Cook, his hobby was taxidermy. He started to collect waterfowl and mounted them himself. And then he started traveling the world. He made 79 trips to other continents. Supposedly, we have the collection that he had in his home was all but 2 species of waterfowl in the world.
This one right here. I was so lucky to be able to spend some time with Frank and Jim, who are lifelong residents of Alcorn, and they know so much of the town's history. The Webster House has this great history that dates back hundreds of years. A lot of times we hear about things or they're in books, but to actually see them in person up close and get a look at them is always fun. So it was really nice to go around the house and look at the old violin that belonged to Joseph Webster, and even the stuff that people donated, all from the 1800s. It was really fun to be able to explore all of those items. Head to discoverwisconsin.com to start planning your trip to Elkhorn. Coming up, it's a little taste of Chicago in Elkhorn. We'll be right back. Discover Wisconsin is back, exploring Elkhorn. One thing I noticed right away was the welcoming spirit of Elkhorn. The people here are so friendly and they just really want to share their town with you, whether you're a visitor or a lifelong resident.
I think that one of the special things about a small town, especially like Elkhorn, is this idea of community. People pulling in the same direction, At the core of what Elkhorn is, it's a small town, but the opportunities are great. You see businesses located here because Elkhorn is growing. People are receptive to people moving in here. It's really a great place to be.
That sense of a growing and supportive community is what drove Carly Mann to go into business here.
I graduated college in 2014 with a degree in business, and I didn't really have an idea of what I wanted to do. I just wanted to own my own business and be my own boss.
When Carly heard that Lefty's, a beloved local spot for Chicago-style hot dogs, was for sale, she didn't hesitate. She purchased Lefty's and quickly expanded the menu.
We serve Chicago-style food, so hot dogs, Italian beef, specialty hot dogs, specialty burgers, and then we sell a lot of milkshakes. Being located in Alcorn is great for Lefty's because all the people have to go past to get to the lake. So I have a lot of regular customers that come. My mom and my aunt are my biggest helpers. They are the greatest to work with. And then at the end of the season, we all go on a vacation together.
Lefty's is open every day from April through October, so be sure to indulge in a little Chicago-style cuisine before the snow flies. But even if you don't make it in time to enjoy a delicious Lefty's dog, it's reason enough to visit Elkhorn during the holiday season, simply to see why this community is known to so many around the world as the Christmas card town.
The first signs of the holiday season are making their appearance at Elkhorn's main intersection, the corner of Wisconsin and Walworth Streets.
Back in 1952, a television series called The March of Times featured the city of Elkhorn during the holiday season. The series depicted our downtown area, and it's a very unique space, and it always was decorated for the holiday season.
The series put Elkhorn in the national spotlight, and it wasn't long before the community caught the attention of Cecile Johnson, an artist commissioned by the Ford Motor Company to paint 6 watercolors of a small town to publish in its magazine.
That publishing house, in turn, used 5 of the 6 paintings that were made into Christmas cards, used throughout the United States hundreds and thousands of times. So that gave Elkhorn the Christmas card town name.
Over the years, local Elkhorn artists have carried on the tradition of creating the town Christmas card, with Tim Carson taking over in 2012.
I've always had an artistic side to me. I've always loved to draw. You know, they say that artists are kids who refuse to put down their crayons. And I guess that's the way it was for me. It's quite an honor for me, especially knowing the history of the Christmas card and Elkhorn. I feel very privileged to have the opportunity to do it for them. I have tried to represent Elkhorn both in terms of its urban character in some of the paintings as well as the rural character in some of the paintings. They're not necessarily intended to be, like I say, verbatim of a subject matter. I try to put my own little twist on some of the cards. I just hope that I'm able to express in my cards the sense of community and the sense of family that I think Elkhorn really embodies. It's a wonderful place to grow up, wonderful place to work, wonderful place to live.
My kids and I got to experience the holiday fun in Elkhorn firsthand with a magical carriage ride through town before lighting the community Christmas tree.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That was really exciting, being able to light the Christmas tree. So many people turn out from the town. It's a wonderful event that everyone gets to participate in, whether you're singing along or just there to enjoy the whole atmosphere.
My favorite part of the night was the carriage because it was really fun riding with Mrs. Claus and Santa Claus, and also it was really fun lighting the tree.
The tree was especially beautiful, seeing the way that the lights reflected off the snow.
Head to discoverwisconsin.com and download a free itinerary to start planning your trip to Elkhorn. Coming up next, Mariah really gets a taste of Elkhorn. Stay with us.
We're exploring Elkhorn today on Discover Wisconsin.
Elkhorn may only have a population of about 10,000, but when summer rolls around, there is always something going on here that draws in thousands of people.
And for Gary Wallum, that something is, well, junk.
I have always liked cool junk. I liked picking stuff as a little kid. I would go out and find things, always thinking I'm going to find a bunch of gold hidden in a tin can. And I've always liked the uniqueness of old stuff.
Gary's passion for collecting means you'll always find him at Elkhorn's famous Antique Flea Market. Held 4 times a year, over 500 vendors flock to the Walworth County Fairgrounds, offering trinkets and treasures galore.
The Elkhorn Flea Market, in my opinion, is the purest form of antique stuff that you're looking for. You won't find a booth full of socks. You won't find CDs. They police this real well and make sure that you have good stuff, good antique stuff. And if not, I'm sorry, you're not welcome back, and we like it that way. You get all kinds of people. You get the city people, you get the people from all around, good atmosphere. Look what I got, look what you got. Everybody's excited about the treasures they found, and everybody comes up with a new purpose for something that you never knew about or never thought about. It's my passion. I don't golf, I don't fish, I don't hunt. I love chasing old junk. It's treasure hunting. It's absolute treasure hunting, and I've had a ball doing it.
If the treasures you seek are of the delicious variety, every July, the Walworth County Fairgrounds also hosts Ribfest, where the best barbecue masters from all around the country gather for a competition unlike any other. It's 4 days straight of savory, mouth-watering barbecue and great entertainment right in the middle of Alcorn.
I was a traveling nurse for several years, and I ate a lot of barbecue when I was down south, and I mixed up a lot of the different tastes and flavors. My wife and I always wanted to have a restaurant because we both love to cook and we both love to eat, and I think anybody who cooks for the right reason realizes that you're cooking for someone else, and if they enjoy it, you've made a very intimate connection with that person. What I look forward to most at Ribfest is that people are here, they're having fun. Barbecue's meant to be eaten outside, and this is like inviting a bunch of people over to your house for a great big barbecue. It's awesome.
But the biggest party of the year here in Elkhorn is also one of the biggest in this state.
Alcorn is home to the famous Walworth County Fair, which just so happens to be the largest county fair in Wisconsin. You cannot come to a county fair without getting a cream puff. This is iconic Wisconsin, and this is highly controversial, but you have to eat it the right way, okay? So what you do is kind of like an Oreo. You split it without losing a lot of cream. You split it in half. That's really good. And you have to get it all over your face. That's the idea. I love myself a good county fair, and this was actually my very first time at the Walworth County Fair. One of the things I love is so much of it is actually free of charge, and there's no alcohol allowed on grounds, which means it's a great family-friendly fair right here in Alcorn.
Check out behind-the-scenes photos from our time in Alcorn at discoverwisconsin.com. And don't forget to share your own travel pics with us using the hashtag DiscoverWisconsin. Coming up, we discover the abundant beauty all around this area. Stay with us. Welcome back to Elkhorn, right here on Discover Wisconsin.
Alcorn is memorable not only for its idyllic downtown and friendly atmosphere, but also for its natural beauty. There is a very impressive network of hiking and biking trails, also lots of lakes and rivers that wind through the area that interconnect and really offer up a ton of opportunity to hit the trails. The White River State Trail is 19 miles long, and it connects Elkhorn to Burlington. Here you can hike, bike, or horseback ride on the trail. And then there's Lauderdale Lakes, a chain of 3 lakes just north of Alcorn, perfect for boating, fishing, all of the water activities you might expect on a chain of lakes.
Now, in my opinion, one of the best parts about being in southeastern Wisconsin is that you're in the middle of the Kettle Moraine. And the southern unit of the Kettle Moraine State Forest is just a quick drive from Alcorn. I love it here because it's full of natural formations, some of the best hiking in the entire state of Wisconsin. It's totally worth visiting any time of year.
When I'm out on the trails in the forest, it really is truly a special feeling to be out there listening to the birds. It really is a great reminder to me of why I'm doing this and why I'm here in the first place. And there's so many special places on this property, I just never get tired of going out and exploring. The Kettle Moraine State Forest Southern Unit is special because we host over 1.3 million visitors per year, and those visitors can do anything here, from hiking to camping to biking to bird watching and just getting out and enjoying nature. This property contains 215 miles of hiking, biking, and horseback riding trails. The Ice Age Trail runs through this property top to bottom. It's 32 miles long. In the winter, we have cross-country skiing trails, we have snowshoeing, and we have trails that are open strictly to hiking for winter. So year-round, this property can be utilized for an amazing array of outdoor activities.
Today, we're about to take in a little winter scenery from the trail. I have always kind of considered the Kettle Moraine to be the crown jewel of southeastern Wisconsin, if you will. One of the things I love is the Ice Age Trail comes right through the park, which means the topography is very interesting here. It's not flat whatsoever. It's going to be some rolling hills, which makes the trails, I think, a little bit more interesting. One thing a lot of people don't realize is located at the southern unit is a really cool museum that you can pop in at right before you go out on your hike. You can take in some information about the Ice Age Trail itself and about the Kettle Moraine. This is a really interesting part of Wisconsin from a geological perspective, and I think it's cool that there's an opportunity to learn about that before you go out and actually hike the area. I hiked just a little bit in, and at one point I felt like I was completely surrounded by the forest. And then you walk just a little bit further and suddenly the entire area really opens up. It's sort of a winter meadow, if you will. You just have time to kind of think to yourself a little bit, take the scenes in, and just enjoy a nice walk out in nature here just outside of Alcorn. Alcorn is your classic Americana small town. It's the kind of place where you're going to come and meet the locals. They'll take you around. That's how nice they are here. And you're just gonna have a great time. You're gonna have a smile on your face the entire time you're right here in Alcorn. From its rich history to its friendly community spirit, Alcorn is not only a great place to visit, but a wonderful place to call home. Stream Discover Wisconsin anywhere, anytime. Continue the adventure on Apple TV, Amazon Fire, Roku, Chromecast, Smart TV, and discoverwisconsin.com.